How good are you at speaking female?
So what's the best thing about having a black wife?
Okay, keep playing. Keep playing and see what happens.
Yo, y'all age like vampires.
Welcome back for the next episode. Cheers, babe.
Cheers.
We did kind of a fun video last time talking about the Toni Braxton stories, and we wanted to address another topic in this one that's something we've been asked about a lot through our TikToks and on the YouTube, and it has to do with our dating lives, our dating experience, but interracial dating in general. And so we wanted to, I guess, get a little more topical. Hopefully we'll still have some fun in talking about this, but we wanted to do it kind of in I guess, 2 chapters. We want to talk about our dating histories and philosophies as we've come up. And then secondly, talk specifically about our experience in being a couple and anything we've dealt with, endured, and how our relationship has gone. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about our dating histories, our dating philosophies when it comes to who we like to date or wanted to date before we got married. So can I do a little interview of you?
Okay.
All right. So if you've watched us before, you'll know that we've both been married before. We're both currently 52. We met when we were 44. Your husband previously
Was white.
My ex previously was white. My wife currently
Black.
not white. So, and there is stuff that comes with that, right? We live in America. I mean, to pretend that that doesn't come with something just is living in denial, right?
Yeah.
Coming up, what were your thoughts, coming up maybe from a teenager forward about interracial dating? Who did you see yourself with? I mean, were you open to dating different types of folks? To just give us a background.
Yeah, so a little background on my family. We're pretty much like made up of everything, some of everything. You go to my family reunion, you don't know, literally you have no idea where you are because we have so many different ethnicities within my family. So I was used to having, being around white people and having white people mixed in my family. One thing about me is that I knew that I wanted to have one child because I have 4 brothers and 4 sisters, and I was like, I have a whole bunch of kids. But the thing about it is I was like, I definitely want to have a baby with a white guy, and that was specifically because I didn't want my daughter to have to go through things that I had gone through because of my skin color. Now, before you hate on me out there, I had literally gone through so much stuff as far as racism and stuff in school. So in my thinking, I was like, if I have a baby with a white guy, then my daughter will be lighter and maybe her journey through this world will be a little easier.
And first of all, we've talked about this, obviously. I knew that.
Yeah.
And I think I want to credit you. That's a big share to put out into the world because there's a lot of ways that can be misconstrued and brought back on you as being hateful or self-hating or anything. And I think
I don't feel like that now.
Right.
I literally do not feel that way now.
No, but also I think it wasn't a matter of you thinking that mixed babies are cute or anything like that.
No.
But I think it was a reaction. It was trying to save your child from going through some of the same shit that you had to go through. And you had a choice
exactly. Yeah,
so.
It was just the struggles that I was having just being Black in America. I was just like, oh my God, I can't imagine having a kid that's 100% Black and her skin color is like mine or maybe darker, which would be beautiful. But in my head, she would probably have to go through a lot of stuff, maybe even more than what I had gone through.
And again,
and I didn't want that.
Context reminder, we both graduated from high school in '86.
Yeah.
So while, interracial dating was a thing, or interracial marriages were a thing, they were pretty unusual.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, it definitely wasn't as open as it is now, today, right? Yeah. So when I, obviously became an adult and married my daughter's dad, at the time I wasn't even, when I had gotten to that age and gotten to where, I think I got married at 25. When I was 25, I really was not seeking out a white guy. That's all that was asking me out. Like, honestly, black guys just weren't asking me out. So at that age, I wasn't actively like, ooh, I gotta date a white guy. I gotta date a white guy. It wasn't even like that. I just, that's all that was asking me out. So fast forward, like, we got married and I had my daughter. And so that's where we are today. And I had gotten, after my divorce, I specifically said I only wanted to date black guys. And that was just because, and I think a lot of things we associate bad experiences with skin type unnecessarily. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fair. But I think subconsciously we kind of do sometimes. So I think in my mind I was like, okay, I hadn't, been with a black guy or dated a black guy before, so maybe that's what I need to do to make this work out, right? And so I was actively like trying to date a black guy. Like, even on websites that I would go on, dating websites that I would go on, I would specifically say on there, I'm only interested in black guys. Like, literally, that's what I would do.
Well, and you went on blackpeoplemeet.com.
I actually did go on blackpeoplemeet.com. And we joke sometimes because I would go on there and I would see, and white guys would be the ones to like actually like talk to me on there. And then my first thing is like, why are you on here? This is blackpeoplemeet.com. I was like, why the hell are you on here? Literally, I would get, in like, no joke, you guys, I would get an attitude. Because I would be like, delete.
You are in the wrong spot.
I'm in the wrong space. But, as I matured and, started dating more people, I realized it's not even about skin color on who you date. You know what I mean? Like, it's really about, the issues you had in your previous relationship. You have to figure out why that didn't work, what were the issues, and what was your role in those issues, right? And you have to fix yourself first. It has nothing to do with, it's just dating white guys, it's just dating Hispanic guys, it's just dating black guys. It has nothing to do with that. It really boils down to you working on you and fixing you. It's not the skin color of somebody that you're dating. That's not going to fix it.
So by the time, you were approaching the time period when we met, so like 8+ years ago,
Mm-hmm.
What was your philosophy? How did race enter into the equation of your dating philosophy, if at all?
Race actually, by that time, was not a factor. Like, I think I had dated enough at that point to know that I did the work and I needed to work on myself. And I knew enough at that point to know that it wasn't about race. So, I was open to dating, black, white, Hispanic. It didn't matter. I was open to dating whoever asked me out at that point.
But you're also in Austin.
But I'm also in Austin.
And how does that impact your dating options?
So, just to kind of go back a little bit, when I was interested in just dating black guys, like, this was probably 3 or 4 years after my divorce, and when I really actively started dating, because I didn't really date for a while after my divorce. And I only wanted to date black guys. Here in Austin, that was very hard to do. Because when I would go out, and I would go out dressed to the 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s. I was like dope. I was dressed. You hear me? And I would go out. Black guys were not checking for me. Like, it would be the white guys that would actually send over a drink or come over and talk to me. And I was so frustrated. And at the time, I had a friend that lived in D.C. And I remember the first time I went to go see her, she was like, T, it's going to be different when you come here, I promise you. She was like, you're going to have like more black guys like asking you out here than you ever have in your life. And I'm like, yeah, right. I was like, I just don't think I'm not that cute for black guys for some reason, right? The short hair, I just figured they like the long hair, right? When I tell you, I stepped off that plane, even getting my luggage, I probably had 5 or 6 black guys coming up to me asking me out. Just in the airport. I couldn't even get out of the airport. And literally everywhere we went, they were like checking for me. And then my friend was like, see, I told you. She was like, you idiot, it has nothing to do with you. She was like, it's not you, it's where you live. So, so that reaffirmed that it wasn't, it wasn't me, and because of like my features or whatever, like it's just like where I live. So.
And you'll say I'm biased, but I mean, the reality is the idea that you look like this and dudes aren't just falling over themselves to get with you and buy you a drink is crazy to me.
You are biased,
But I'm not. See that you say that, but that only works if like I wasn't attracted to you first. I was attracted to you before I knew you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't really work.
So anyway, that's just a little like snippet of me. So what about you? Did you have any like racial preferences at all during especially like after your divorce? Like were you just kind of like being married to a white woman, where after that were you just kind of like open, or had you dated like different races before you got married?
Well, Tanya, let me tell you. All right. So do you remember when you were a kid and you were watching like your favorite show, and it gets to the end and they're like, come back next week for part 2? Well, that's what we're going to do here. Come back next time, and you'll hear a little more of my story.
Yes. Thank you for watching.
How many?
How good are you at speaking female?
So what's the best thing about having a black wife?
Okay, keep playing. Keep playing and see what happens.
Yo, y'all age like vampires.